what would a second Donald Trump term look like?
Well, he cannot be the next president. Because if he is...
You can't imagine the things that he's going to do. Mexico, Canada. We can't go to Canada because eventually Canada will become annexed to America.
And shoot visitors to the White House. Yeah, that means he can shoot the First Lady.
We're going to see violence, the likes of which we didn't even see on January 6th.
Make it illegal to run against him, to throw his opponents in jail, to shut down the media.
He will make himself into the Fuhrer, and he will make everybody raise their hand and salute him.
Using martial law against the American people.
Terminate the Constitution.
To rewrite the Constitution.
Create mass internment camps.
Throw everyone into Gitmo.
Might be sent to jail, or their rights might be suppressed, especially minority groups in society.
You might have any number of things happen to you and your family.
Every one of us, our freedom, our liberty, none of us is safe.
It's going to have people around him executing against an enemy's list.
Assassinate generals.
Ordering troops to attack American citizens.
Trump's very well-armed and extremist base will try to kill people.
He's going to basically burn the house down.
He will unravel the institutions of our democracy.
Draw similarities between Mussolini and Hitler.
Adolf Hitler and Benito Mussolini.
Makes Donald Trump even more dangerous.
Hey there, guys. Welcome to the channel. Man, shout out to Gravian, man. What a montage that was that they put together. Can you guys believe the things that these insane leftist trolls actually believe? Well, they can't believe it. I cannot imagine that the people actually saying these things believe it, but I can promise you that these things that they're telling their mushy brain poor victims of this propaganda, those people believe it. They believe it deeply. And these people, they're all freaking losing their minds, man. And let me know in the comments, do you think that this is just them upping the ante on the standard vitriolic propaganda that they're used to spreading, or is there something more? Because I think it's something more. I think they're actually in full-blown panic as they start to realize that Donald Trump is going to be the next president of the United States, and probably by a landslide. And I think they also realize that a lot of it has to do with them. They are the reason. Their behavior is the reason after everything that they've done to stop it. And as you watch things like this, they'll do anything to stop it. I'm surprised, honestly, that you can just go on these channels and say things that are so baseless and so insane, and no one looks. The FCC doesn't even take a second look. Alex Jones owes the Sandy Hook families $1 billion freaking dollars, and these people can just spread whatever they want. It's amazing. But, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that there shouldn't be freedom of the press. I'm just saying that I'm not sure that's what we should call these people. I don't think this is what was intended when they decided what was going to be considered the press. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying, we shouldn't be able to just go on and just lie and fearmonger people into complete insanity until they decide that they're not going to vote for one candidate over the other. In this situation, Donald Trump, which is exactly what this is. That's all this is about. That is all that this is, But here's the good news. There's probably about 6 people that would ever consider voting for Donald Trump that have ever watched that network, at least in the last 5 years. So, really, they're just confirmation bias bubbling, and they're polluting the minds of each other. They're only hurting their own bubble. No one serious, no one reasonable believes any of what you just saw. But the good news is, we can see it, and we can see what they're up to. We can see what they actually believe. And right now, we get to see that their shtick is not working, man. They are spinning out of control in total desperation, which is pretty exciting stuff. Scary as hell to watch, but exciting. But guys, please look at this insanity.
Liz Cheney's been talking about that I am also obsessed with is kind of what damage he could do within government without even necessarily breaking the law. Like how he could use the levers of government to bend to his will.
Just hold on, wait a minute, though. Aren't these the same people? And isn't that the exact same press secretary who derided and mocked conservatives who said that Biden was using legal levers of government to execute authoritarian-like agenda items? These are the same people, and we were talking about things like ignoring immigration law, unconstitutionally canceling debt. They told us this wasn't possible. They told us that the president can't do anything like what they're actually describing right here.
You've worked in government. What scares you the most?
Well, the possibilities are almost limitless. And I spent nearly 2 years asking that question to people. And I wrote it in this book, Blowback, but to try to paint that picture, to try to understand what he would actually do by talking to all of my former colleagues at different departments and agencies under Trump and asking them that question. What will happen in a second term? The biggest concerns for me are on the national security side. I think Americans still don't understand the full extent of the president's powers and things Donald Trump could do, bubble wrapped in legalese, that would be damaging to the republic. And one of those that I've noted is there's something in the White House called the Doomsday book. And for the first time, DHS gave authorization for me to mention this publicly. And the fact that there are concerns that that book, which is supposed to be used to protect the country in instances of armed foreign invasion or rebellion, it's the president's most extraordinary powers, could be picked up by Trump and used for domestic political purposes. He could invoke powers we've never heard a president of the United States invoke, potentially to shut down companies or turn off the internet or deploy the U.S. military on U.S. soil.
Guys, it sounds like a damn James Bond movie, man. So they expect people at home to believe that there is a secret book in the White House, in the Resolute desk, full of secret, constitutionally authorized acts that no one has ever heard of, that the president can use to literally destroy the republic if he so chooses. And no one's ever heard of this until the Department of Homeland Security just gave authorization for it to be disclosed for the first time ever by a guy you've never heard of on a channel that only insane people watch. They're just sitting at home right now, those insane people, soaking this up, man. All of their great fears are being confirmed, all while they're hilariously convinced with every fiber of their being that you are in a cult. They are not even going to question or even really notice that this guy is not giving any real examples. He's just talking about a scary book.
We don't know because, the things that are in there, the emergency powers of the president, aren't widely known to the American people. So that's a big worry for people like me and others about what he could do. But that weaponization of the government could extend across the interagency to places where we haven't seen it before. The Department of Education, the Department of Veterans Affairs, ways to wield that power and those budgets to help his allies and to hurt his enemies. And to be clear, those aren't just elites. To Donald Trump, his enemies include people who live in blue states. I remember him not wanting to deliver emergency aid to blue states because he didn't like them, because they didn't like him.
I mean, Miles, the Doomsday book, I think it's safe to say we don't want in Donald Trump's hands.
I mean, come on, man. What in the hell is really wrong with these people, man? Guys, I know that this is funny to watch. I know that we see these things and we laugh at these people. But I think that's been a big mistake of ours, man. We haven't pushed back. We don't push back and we don't challenge insanity. And we never have. We've always considered ourselves like above it somehow or too busy. We always hear conservatives like, I don't have time for that. I got to work for a living. And all those things are true. But we have never pushed back on the crazy. And, a lot of times we thought that they were just too crazy to even talk about, but that no one reasonable could ever believe it. But the problem is this is spread like a mental disorder. And guys, there are people sitting at home right now that believe this stuff and they will spread it. They believe that a book that up until this moment they never heard of exists. And it's going to allow Trump to turn off the internet and become all powerful. They're going to lose it. These people are going to finally go crazy, and they just aren't able to apply any sort of critical thinking. The people these are the same people that believe that Donald Trump attempted to overthrow the government and to stay in power for the rest of his life. And the whole time he could have just used some doomsday book to shut off the internet and deploy the military. But instead of doing that, he angered a crowd of his, quote unquote, gun crazed militia types who all forgot to bring firearms to their riot. And this is why he must be stopped, because next time he'll use the book. It's just insane, guys. They're insane. But this is the kind of stuff that these people believe. And the best part is, this is the best part. The more insane that they become, the crazier ideas that they spread, the stronger Trump and his poll numbers get. This is truly amazing stuff. I don't know where it ends. I think that some people are going to have some real psychological trauma after it's all over, but I thought you guys deserved to see this. This is all I got on this topic, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you haven't already, guys, help us to continue to grow. Like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. Really appreciate the support, guys. We'll see you in the next one.